Testing new stuff still. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear this. I promise I'm going to get this together before too long. I'm going to put a little chat here. Rachel Farmer says hi. I'm not going to bother with that. I assume everybody can hear me. Chloe Ray Williams, Mystic Gaming, Brown, 859, Martin Coleman. Lucas says, "Yo, do you still live on a farm?" No, actually, I don't. I live in a little podunk town called Okeechobee, Florida. I lived on a sailboat for about a year and a half, which is now up for sale. I've got not one but two cheerins come to live with me here in Florida. Uh, Blaine's been with me for about 5 months, and Hayden has been here for about a week now. Hence the reason we got a new co-chair, which, hint, hint, we've got Hayden. We're loading him up on his own brand new YouTube channel. I will have the link in the description after this is over with. It's not currently there yet. Hayden's going to be doing streaming. He is a Call of Duty fanatic. He is probably conservatively in the top 10% of all Call of Duty people. I would be in the very bottom last percent. I know almost nothing about Call of Duty except for what I've seen him do. And what is the question that we're not going to talk about? How is Parker out the cheerings? That's what I was going to put in here earlier. I'm not going to bother. Parker's great. Kids are good. You will be seeing some of Hayden more here. Blaine is not the type to get in front of the camera, so he works behind the scenes, but not directly in the camera. Anyway, Hayden is a Call of Duty expert, and we're going to we've got this cool little thing. It's called a stream deck, where we can stream things and put things up on the screen. The green screen did come in finally, but surprise, surprise, it's a little bit too small. It doesn't work. So my little green alien's going to have to do for now. So, as you have all heard by now about the Will Smith slap of Chris Rock, I saw it happen, not live because I don't watch the Oscars. I don't even watch TV, but I was thumbing through Twitter and someone tweeted about it. And within, just a few minutes, we start seeing some of the video roll in. And of course, like with anything having to do with weird relationships and marriage breakups and divorce, that kind of caught my eye because I don't keep up with Will Smith that much. I've always admired the guy, and before I get into what have titled this, that Jada Pinkett Smith has ruined Will Smith, I want to start off by saying I am not here to trash Will Smith. I'm really not. I'll give my 2 cents where he was wrong. And it's not to say that only Will Smith has done wrong things, that I, Caleb Leverett, have never done wrong things, because I'm the first to admit I've done lots of wrong things, like terribly, stupidly wrong. And my hopes in this mess of about everyone talking about Will Smith and possibly distracting us from what's really going on in Washington, D.C., or the things that people in Washington, D.C. are doing behind the scenes, like, I don't know, not arresting or investigating anybody in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal, where what's her name? I can talk. I just had a brain fart. What's her name? Epstein's old girlfriend, the one in prison. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, she's been like convicted of running this sexting or sex ring operation, and yet nobody is being investigated who actually hired these people. So there's a possibility, yes, I've read that too, that This is all a setup, and these are A-list actors. Chris Rock and Will Smith go way back, and this is the Oscars, and we're recovering from 2020, and they just need some viewers, and they got to keep the puppet strings pulling the puppet strings, and the lizard people are just laughing their asses off. Oh, guess what we did? We had Will Smith slap Chris Rock live at the Oscars. Hardy har har. I've read all that. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I don't think there's really any way of proving. All we know is what we see. We can comment on what we see and give our opinions, which everybody's had an opinion. And I gave my opinion on my Instagram. And as usual, on controversial subjects, I don't know why choosing nonviolence is a controversial subject, but apparently it is. I've lost a couple, 3 dozen followers. People, they talk and they shit talk and then they block me. Oh, I followed you, Caleb Leverett. You did real good back then, but this just crosses the line. How dare you criticize Will Smith for standing up for the woman he loves? Well, I'm not exactly criticizing Will Smith for standing up for the woman he loves. I expect anyone involved with their significant other to stand up for who that person is. However, there are certain situations that you got to step outside of the NCP mindset, the or NPC. I've heard it people say it both ways. You've got to step outside of the big wave, the big mind control where they tell you what, look around. Wait, what is everyone else thinking? What is everyone else saying before I say anything? Oh, yes, yes. Will Smith stood up for anybody that goes up against what the narrative is a bad person. I'm just going to block them. Well, I have a different set of principles than a lot of people, particularly people who've blocked me and shit talked me for saying what I said. And I just simply think that Jada Pinkett Smith has ruined Will Smith and will let her do it. Will is, I think, 52. I'm about to be 45 here in about a month. So Will's about 8 years older than me. When I was a kid or when I was younger, I grew up watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, loved it, know the theme song like everybody else, loved, Uncle Phil, Jazzy Jeff always getting tossed out. I mean, I loved it. I grew up with it. I mean, he wasn't back then, he seemed a lot older to me, but as I get older, I'm realizing Will's not that much older than me, which tells me after what I've been through at age 44, almost 45, I am open about A, my mistakes, and B, being a slow learner. I learn the hard way on so many things. I'm not proud of it. It's just who I am. I know I've learned. I know now I can acknowledge, looking back, reflecting on my own life. I learn the slow way on a lot of things. But usually, once I figure it out, I catch up really quickly. And what I see Will doing, and again, I don't just follow Hollywood like, like the cover of People magazine, like, people that stand in line at the grocery store that just have to know all the gossip and crap. I don't. But they made a big spectacle of this. It's out for everyone to see. And I gave my 2 cents. And what I noticed, and if you look at the cover, I took that picture of Jada Pinkett Smith and made it the cover of this. That look, that brief second after Chris Rock made the initial lame, I might add, G.I. Jane, it wasn't even lame. It just wasn't that good of a joke. It wasn't really very offensive. Um, wasn't that great of a joke, but it was just a joke. And he was a professional comedian paid to get up there and roast people. That was literally his job. But once he made his joke, you can see Will laughing it up. Maybe there wasn't a real laugh. Maybe it was fake. Who knows? Anybody can kind of fake a little stuff like that, especially him. I mean, for God's sake, he's one of the top, if not the top actor, certainly in the top 5 actors of the last 20 years, possibly 25, 30 years. I mean, he is like anybody could be live, but it appeared before the camera panned off back to Chris Rock that he was laughing. He's like going along, whether he agreed with it or not, who knows? Maybe he just thought, okay, it's just a harmless joke. I'm a A-list celebrity. They're going to roast me. I'm used to it. He's been in the spotlight his entire adult life. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But you look at Jada Pinkett Smith, that look, that death stare. I know some of you have seen that look. Some of us got that look when we were kids, we were cheerings, and people have made jokes about that for eons. When mom gives you that look, that I'm going to slap you in the next week just as soon as as soon as this is over. She communicated so much threatening information. I just know that look. And by the time that 3 or 4 seconds pans back, he's marching up there. He went from laughing, we see that look of Jada Pinkett Smith. The camera didn't acknowledge him seeing it. He apparently looked over and for about 3 seconds. And within just a couple seconds after that, he's marching up there. She relayed so much information with that death stare. He knew she was hurt. Her feelings were hurt. She didn't like it. Will, if you don't fix this right fucking now, you will never live. You will face the wrath of your wife. And the only reason I know what that is like is because I've lived it. Many of you have lived it too, whether it was from your controlling significant other, or it was from you being a child and mom or dad or whoever was your keeper that didn't necessarily want to just pop you or right there in front of God and everybody. Didn't want to make a big scene in front of the world, but they wanted to instantly, seriously make it known with the swords going, that fire and flames coming out with this big beeping dee 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 dee. You better make this right or you're gonna pay. You could just see the monster coming out in her if you have the eye for it. That is the only way that I could see Will Smith possibly going from laughing at a corny joke, not even a silly joke, or just a silly joke, not even a great joke, just a silly vanilla. For a professional, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was maybe a 5. It was just a kind of an intro, just a simple G.I. Jane joke, which, by the way, I never saw G.I. Jane. I think it came out about 15 years ago, had Demi Moore in it. And to compare, if someone was comparing my wife to Demi Moore, like, oh my God, like, it's not even a joke, just like a compliment. I mean, Demi Moore with hair, no hair is Demi Moore, and she's smoking hot. I've always thought Jada Pinkett Smith was smoking hot, especially when I was younger. I mean, that's just me. I didn't see how it was could have even how could it be that bad? I mean, I know some people say she's going through this medical condition. I thought, well, okay, maybe Chris Rock didn't know. Maybe, I mean, celebrities are weird. Let's face it. I mean, y'all think I'm weird, and I know I'm weird. Celebrities are weird. I mean, Lady Gaga wore a meat suit for Christ's sake. They do weird things. Maybe Chris Rock knew about it. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he was just giving her like one of the good old boys, jab in the ribs, how men will be men and we jab each other, we insult each other is a form of, hey, brother, how's it going? Hey, fucker, how are you? We don't say it it sounds, I guess, if you read it, but if you just hear it, hey, fucker, how you doing? I don't mean, hey, you horrible person. Hey, it's my best friend. Maybe he was just giving a joking compliment of comparing her to Demi Moore because she's hot. I mean, who knows? But Will, oh my God, he went from laughing to on that stage in 5 seconds. And within 10 seconds of Chris Rock saying what he said, Chris Rock got slapped. And again, I don't know if this is staged. Maybe it's staged, maybe it's not. Assuming it was all real. If you ask me, Chris Rock handled it really well. He made a joke even out of that. Holy shit, Will Smith just slapped shit out of me. And then just a few seconds later, after Will, mouthed off in the audience, so this has got to be with that stunned look, the greatest moment in TV history. But you can also tell he was really stunned. He had to just go straight to the category. He goes, "We have a category for awards," or something like that, and then it should have been an awards for this certain category. He got it mixed up. And given the circumstances, like assuming he didn't see it coming, and I can only assume he didn't, he handled it really well. But then the camera turns back to him. He's sitting down. Get my wife's name out your fucking mouth. And then Will was like playing the part. He had to show genuine, I did everything I could. Look, baby, look what I did. I marched up on the steps of that red carpet amongst this elite people, and I slapped him for you. That'll teach him. He was playing that part. Get my wife's name out your fucking mouth. And I just saw that, and I was just, oh, no, no, no. You please tell me you didn't just do that. This woman has made a mockery of this man for so long. And I understand if you are new to it, that's why I was getting back to, talking about Will's age. If I didn't know any better when I was young. I was stupid. I mean, for Christ's sake, I married my kid's mother twice. I mean, hello, but the difference is, Will, I was 20 the first time and 21 the second time. This man's 52 years old, or maybe he's 53. He's in his 50s. This man is in his 50s. And this woman has, you know, if they have an open marriage, I don't care. Like, I really don't. I mean, be prepared for people to tease you about it. I mean, that's just life. Like, if you want to wear like blue hair and crazy stuff, just be prepared for people. Usually people that dress really crazy, they really couldn't care less they know they're going to get teased, but they don't care. But if they've got an open marriage, great. It's not for me. It's not my thing. Do what you want by all means. Like, I really don't care. But you gotta know that you're going to be made fun of, and especially when you make a complete ass. When he made a complete ass of himself, he has to know that that's not okay. If a regular person did that, we would not only be facing jail time, we would have been tackled. We'd be tackled before we even got up on stage, much less assaulted that little bitty guy. I mean, Chris Rock, I didn't realize how small he was. He's like tiny. Like, I think Will's probably 6'1", 6'2". He's an inch, 2 inches taller than me. He went up to this little bitty guy, and they're friends, but he's huge. He outweighs him by 50 pounds easy, and just smack. If any of us would have done that, there's a top chat there from Frankie. Hey, Caleb, just wanted to reaffirm how amazing of a father and person you are. Please don't stop what you're doing. Love you to the moon. Well, thank you, Frankie. I'm going to have to get my glasses because that is really hard for me to read. The older I get, the harder this gets. Where was I? Talking about. I'm going to have to quit doing that. I'm going to get better at this, I promise. Oh, he's a big guy. He's compared to that. If any normal, regular person like you or me were to do that, not only would we have not made it to the stage, we would have before he got arrested. If we would have made it there and smacked him, the guards, the security would have been on us like stink on shit, and we'd have been the world would have rightfully so condemned us and made fun of us. And the prosecutors, I mean, Jussie Smollett, he got like a slap on the wrist for making up all that crap. They wouldn't have been so easy. He openly, there wasn't made, he slapped him, and that didn't happen to Will. It's not going to happen to Will. Will is like a superstar's superstar. And it's just one of those rich people problems. That maybe that's what pissed people off when I said, that's I understand rich people have big problems too, but to take it out, that was it was just the wrong thing to do. And then to Will's credit, about 24 hours later, okay, fast back up. He won the Academy Award for his movie role, which I haven't seen because it was only in theaters, I guess, and I don't go to movie theaters. I will watch it. Hell, I didn't even know about it. That was pretty good advertising. I'll have to watch it about the Williams sisters, their father, and what he went through to get them through that. Now that this happened, I may go watch it, but he wound up getting the Academy Award and he apologized to the Academy then. 24 hours later, to Will's credit, he didn't just apologize to the Academy. He apologized to Chris Rock personally and to the Academy. And he, on top of that, he took full ownership, admitting that it was wrong, and admitting his emotions got the best of him. And I read his statement like many of you did on his Instagram. And just his small statement to me, again, if you've got the eye to see Jada Pinkett Smith's massive amount of information she was able to convene just like that with just a glance, with a split second glance of an eye. If you have that kind of eye, then you can read into that what Will said. There's more to it. First of all, again, I commend him for owning it. He fucked up. He fucked up bad and he owned it. Good for him. Very good for him. That says a lot about his character. I see a lot of pain in Will. He wouldn't like just doing that in the first place, but he owned it and good for him. But there was so much more to me information of that. First of all, like on for me as someone who commented on, within, just a few hours of it happening and people abandoning me, calling me names, blocking me. Fuck you, Caleb Lever. You were cool back then. And I like what you did with Parker and Blaine, all that, but I'm just not going to stand by that anymore. Now, Will Smith himself admitted what he did was wrong. I was simply saying what he did was wrong. Now, Will agrees with me. At the time, he didn't agree with me because he wouldn't have done it in the first place. But now, even Will agrees with me. So we're all just, I guess, a big bye, sayonara to all those people that left me because, the guy we're talking about actually agrees with me now. He admitted he was wrong. And unlike what I've seen in most human as a characteristic, he owned his mistake. He didn't just say, "Oh yeah, sorry about that." He owned it. Chris Rock, I apologize. The Oscars, I apologize. He acknowledged what he did. Violence, solving problems with violence is wrong, and I own it. And I was wrong. And it was a mistake. Fair enough. And to Chris Rock's credit, not going to file charges. That to me, that just spoke volumes about his character. He's like, this was like really, really awkward. And I'm hosting this and I'm a professional. Even this has shook me to my fucking core. And even Chris Rock took it like, okay, he knows he screwed up. He realizes he screwed up because Chris Rock isn't stupid. I'm sure he and his people are watching the reaction like everybody else. How is this, it's kind of like, no, I'm not even gonna bring that up because that's just gonna these days you bring up analogies that has to do with something similar to it, which is what an analogy is. People say, oh, they take it to the wrong level, and like he acknowledged he messed up. There's no reason for Chris Rock to go to the police, file a report, take it to court, go through the court, possibly have a jury trial, even then, knowing Will, he would say, I know I'm guilty. It's obvious. I did it. Look, it's plain as black and white. And it'd just be up to a judge on what his punishment was. He didn't need that. Chris Rock acknowledged that what Will did was wrong. But anyway, there's so much more to that with his apology. Jada Smink, I know without being able to prove it. This is just what I highly suspect is it. First of all, I think they're probably finally bound for divorce. And Will's going to get to go through that awful, awful, awful experience. But what he did when he apologized, he made it known to the woman that he's married to, kind of. I guess they are married, just in strange relationship. he made it known that I acted out on impulse. I saw that look in your eye. I tried my best as the most beta thing ever that he could do. He did it. And he admitted that what he did was wrong. He should not have gone up there and ended this silly insult, if you could even call it an insult. The GI Jane 2 reference. If he ended it, tried to end it with violence. That being said, what if I'm just pulling a name out of my head. Let's say Demi Moore was the host of the Oscars. What if Demi Moore got up there and was making an insult, a joke about herself, which a lot of people know that when people joke about themselves, it's actually a defense mechanism. I joke about my shortcomings all the time. Let's just say Demi Moore was up there and like, I don't know if she and Jada Pinkett Smith even know each other, having a clue. But let's say Demi Moore was in the place of Chris Rock, and Demi Moore got up there and made her own joke about GI Jane. Jada, love you, girl. Can't wait to see you in GI Jane 2. And what if that was what set Jada Pinkett Smith off? Making fun of my hair. I don't like this. Gave Will the big siren threatening look. And what if Will walked up on that stage and did the exact same thing and slapped the shit out of Demi Moore? And I would call that out just as well. Okay, Will, that was wrong, Will. You shouldn't have gone up there and slapped Demi Moore. That was like completely embarrassing and uncalled for. Would these people who, like in my case, blocked me, said, screw you, Caleb, would y'all have stood up for Will Smith then? And if not, why not? Because of the gender thing? Oh, you're not supposed to hit a woman. You're not supposed to hit anybody. Not supposed to hit a woman or a man or a child for that matter. Hello, I'm a champion for nonviolent parenting. That includes don't hit your kids. Kids are little shits. We all know it. You just spend time with them. You don't hit them. You resolve problems without hitting them. Will Smith, you could have resolved that problem without hitting Chris Rock. If she was a guy, if the host was Demi Moore, you probably would have resolved it without violence, would you or would you not? But since he's a man, half the country, or roughly half, I don't know what the split is, not 50-50, 60-40, whichever way it is, a lot of people were supporting Will, apparently. Like they hated, they love him so much and got mad at me so much that they blocked me and unfollowed me because leave these horrible comments about me and then just leave and block. Oh, they're not even there anymore. Would you have done the same thing if Chris Rock had been a woman? I dare say not, because you don't hit women and you don't hit children and you don't hit other men. How about we try to resolve conflict through talking and conversation and even fierce debate? But how about we try it without hitting? Because if hitting was something that you supported Will Smith doing against Chris Rock, that slap. Well, what if he would have, instead of hitting open handed, if he would have just, not much of a difference, right? Closed hand, open hand, not much of it. What if he would have just punched Chris Rock? And what if the punch was hard enough that it left a black eye or knocked out a tooth? Or what if Chris Rock was suffering some kind of like serious medical condition of his own where he couldn't take blows to the face? And what if he would have gone into cardiac arrest? What if he would have just not just one punch? What if he would have just, souffled him? What if he would have gone, turned Chris Rock into, The Rock and, just body slammed him? Would that have been good enough? Again, if it's for show, if it's like wrestling, and then do all, by all means, obviously, do all you want. Get up there, make a show, pull the ring out, pull the punches. If they would have gone and got boxing gloves and it had been a mutual fight, we're gonna, any even if it was a real fight, but if it was mutually, it was totally uncalled for. Chris Rock was obviously not expecting it. This wasn't an agreed upon fight, but between Mike Tyson and whomever. Thor. Did y'all? By the way, did anybody watch the Thor versus what's his name? The Beast. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Hayden's gonna laugh at me if he's listening to this. Anyway, Thor versus whoever. Anyway, they just had their world strongmen. They got in a real fight in a real ring, and they put gloves on, and they drew blood, and we loved it. Just like me, I'm a humongous Mike Tyson fan. Tyler, Holyfield, him and Holyfield. That's one of his he bit his ear off. I saw that live. I watched that happen live. We had a stolen copy of a pay-per-view. We all gathered around and we watched it. Yeah, that was a shitty thing that he did. But anyway, the point is Tyson or whoever your favorite MMA fighters, they draw blood, they fight. Some of them really don't like each other. Some of them really fight because they respect each other. But real fights are awesome if they're mutual, if you agree and here are the rules, no nut shots, no biting. You have to wear gloves, and we know up front what it is. That's one thing, but this was completely 100% unprofessional and uncalled for. And anybody who's supporting it is simply supporting a narrative, and it's probably your favorite political party. Whatever your political party is telling you to support on that issue or any other issue, you probably, if you support it, that's because you support a political party, their narrative, their ideal. They tell you what to think, which is precisely why I do not support any political parties. I don't support the group think. I happen to think like a lot of my friends, a lot of my online friends. And then that's one thing about getting off Facebook. I love being off Facebook. It's so nice. I used to get kicked off and I didn't like it, but now I've kicked myself off. And I only get on it just very occasionally just because the algorithm, that's just part of social media. I like out of protest once a week, or I waited a full month before I posted anything. Anyways, my point is, where was I? I hate it when I do that. It just it just leaves me. I was talking about social media and posting, but how that it just left me. It just left me. I need some water and I don't have any water. Oh well. How long are we into this? 32, 33. 32 minutes in. I wish I'd have brought my glasses because I would love to be able to. Oh, goody, goody. Miss Mary's here. Their kids are grown adults with careers of their own. Jada won't get child support. Alimony possibly, but child support is long gone years ago. Yeah. Yeah, the child support thing, all his I think they've got a son, Jaden. I think his name's Jaden. Jaden Smith or Jaden Pinkett Smith, whatever he goes by. He's about Parker's age, maybe a year or two older. It's not the child support he's worried about, but this whole community property that Jada and Will have together. They've been together so long. She's going to take him to the cleaners. Like, I know where Will's at. He wants to protect his nuclear family. The only reason I know that is because I wanted to too. I wanted to protect mine. I wanted to protect when it finally sank in when I was 29 years old and got a divorce after 10 years of marriage, or 30, whatever it was, 29, 30. I was 30 years old. It was sinking in. I wanted, I acknowledged that my nuclear family was gone. The mom, the dad, the Cheerins. It was over. It was permanently over. And he's having, I think, a really hard time with that being a reality. But what he's got to realize, that's what's got to be. He's got to get rid. She brings nothing to the table. Again, I obviously don't know the ins and outs of their marriage, but my point is, from what I mean by it, she brings nothing to the table. He's a fucking superstar. Like, I knew who she was only because of him. And all I've ever seen is him miserable and him and her embarrassing him and him embarrassing himself by simply trying to love her, and which is admirable. It is, love is love, and it doesn't matter who you love, but you can't just keep letting someone destroy you and make you feel terrible. And again, the only reason she got away with that look, that threat, that beaming, those swords sticking out of her eyes, that glance that she relayed all that information so quickly. The only reason she can do that is she knows whatever it is Will doesn't want to happen, she has the power to make it happen if she doesn't feel comfortable. But that violence thing, that's part of our problem. I mean, look at the world in which we're in right now, politically speaking. Everyone's talking about Ukraine, and if you don't support Ukraine and tattoo Ukraine on your ass and put the Ukraine flag, then you're an awful terrible person, and you love Putin. That they That's more of that group think, and I just don't fall into the group think. In fact, when I step back and I see something happening, like all of a sudden no one's talking about COVID anymore, which I thought that was ridiculous from day one. And then all of a sudden they're not talking about that anymore. And all of a sudden they're talking about Ukraine, like Ukraine. What the hell? Putin, Zelensky? First of all, who's Zelensky? I had to look it up. And the way these people support the blind support, they've known about this Zelensky guy all along. And I'm sure obviously some people have, but the average person didn't. We might know who Putin is, because I kind of follow world politics, kind of my thing. I'm not really close on it, but I step back and notice there's a strange thing going on here. Suddenly, no one gives two shits about COVID, and we're supposed to Ukraine. Let's see. Do you have it for Ukraine? Yeah. I'm supposed to. Oh yeah, I like that. She's pretty. She's got a flag. Okay, yeah, she's talking about Ukraine. Okay, type in Ukraine, UKARAINE. Oh, there's their flag. Okay, change the profile. Now I'm gonna go to the gym, take selfies, working out for Ukraine. And if you don't like it, then you must be bad, and you must follow and love Putin. It's just mind numbing. It's ridiculous. I don't pretend to know the full ins and outs of what's going on in Ukraine any more than I pretend to know the ins and outs of what's going on with Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. But I know this: when you resort to violence and you're rooting for violence, when you're rooting, send them bombs, slap him harder, defend the woman you love. We love Zelensky, who is coincidentally and ironically an actor also. Yeah, look it up. The dude's an actor. He's like a famous actor in his own country. I think we screwed up so bad, and this is going to hurt the other side of the political aisle. We screwed up so bad by getting that first actor back in the 80s as our president. What's his name? Oh, yeah, Ronnie Reagan. We started hiring actors and electing actors, and he's literally an actor. He's another actor. And people keep falling for this. I'm like, you don't have to fall for this. You can enjoy wrestling knowing it's fake as shit. When Ed McMahon or what not McMahon, that's the old Publishers Clearinghouse guy. Oh, that's even a conspiracy theory. He wasn't even part of uh 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 he wasn't even part of Publishers Clearinghouse. It was like American Sweepstakes or something. There's a whole um Mandela effect about that. But anyway, where am I going? I swear to God, I'm still sober. You can't stay up this late, and my mind just goes in all these directions. But anyway, actors, Zelensky's an actor. He literally, I'm not being it's not a joke like, oh, he's just an actor. He literally made a career and got a paycheck standing in front of a camera reading lines that other people wrote for him to entertain the masses. He is an actor. Like literally, he happens to be the president now, just like back then it was Ronald Reagan, an actor who wanted to ban guns, like an AK-47. If you ever get a chance, whenever your right wing friends and you want to piss them off, You want to irritate your right wing friends, lefties. I'm talking to you. You want to irritate them, and they're like, "Rah, rah, Ronald Reagan, I love my guns and all that stuff." Look up Reagan's speech on an AK-47. He like totally pissed on the Second Amendment, like totally like there's no reason why a citizen, a U.S. citizen, has any reason to have an AK-47. But you show that to the righties. If we call lefties lefties, like we call the righties righties, we'll call the righties. When you say that to a righty, they're like, "Oh no," they won't want to talk about it. They'll just they'll pretend you didn't say that part. And because it's the cognitive dissonance that, like, I see what you're showing me is the truth. I'm seeing it come out of his mouth, but I don't want to believe it because I've always had a preconceived idea that Ronald Reagan was just pro gun all the way. No, Ronald Reagan was an actor. He was an actor. He like literally from California. I think he's born in the Midwest, but he moved to Hollywood. He was the governor of California before he was even. Well, hello, what other actors have been the governor of California? Oh yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, old Arnie, another actor who famously about 6 months ago, right at the end, we didn't know it at the time, but towards the end of the COVID BS fiasco, got online and was making this big passionate speech about individual freedoms and you must wear your masks and screw your freedoms. Literally, look it up. Quote Arnold Schwarzenegger, screw your freedoms. That's literally a direct quote. He's an actor. I started this thing off talking about actors. Will Smith, he's been around since as long as I can remember, since I was a kid. I think he was a teenager and he was DJ Jazzy Jeff from the Fresh Prince. He was, if I'm not mistaken, I'm about 99% sure he was making rap music before. That's how the TV show got started. It wasn't the other way around. Like he was like a teenager doing this. So yeah, another actor, Will Smith, A-lister. Another actor, Ronnie Reagan, governor of California in the 70s, president of the United States in the 80s, gun grabber. Yeah, true story. Zelensky, another actor. The only people in Hollywood that have actually acknowledged this, that have got way bigger bank accounts than me and actually made fun of it, is, praise be their names, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the creators of South Park, who also are the creators of Team America World Police. If you've not seen Team America World Police, it came out like right after 9/11. If I'm not, or maybe it was right before. I think it was right after. Yeah, they're totally made. That is one of the funniest comedies. It's made with marionette dolls, and they're totally making fun of people who support the cops. And the funniest thing about it is, especially like right to this very day, I know so many people that laugh their ass off at it, and they've got, back the blue, and they blindly follow cops and support cops no matter what, no matter anything they do. I take everything on a case by case basis, such as my own case. And when my own video went viral, those two police officers did outstanding work. Outstanding. I think those two rookie cops, Officer Brandon Spinks and Officer Rocha, they should be used as models for what other officers should behave like in de-escalating. So here I go again, getting off. Ooh, I'm almost there. Where was I? De-escalating and cops and not falling in. Why do I do this to myself? I get going and I lose my train of thought. That's why I need my co-host. Hayden has said he would start, somewhat setting in with as a co-host. So be prepared to see him. But 44 minutes in. Oh yeah, I was talking about Team America World Police. I knew I'd come back to it. They make fun of Americans being the police of the world police. And if you watch it, there's these problems on the other side of the world, and yeah, they're problems, but they go in there and they just save the day, and they make it all worse. They screw up everything. And the average fan of that show doesn't even realize that they're making fun of them. They're making fun of people who just think we ought to police the world. I don't pretend to know all the ins and outs of what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. I know some of it. I know for damn sure we're not being told the truth. Same people that didn't tell us the truth about those towers that fell down about 22 or 21 years ago. It'll get you in trouble if you say the wrong thing. The same people that didn't tell us the truth about that, same people that didn't tell us the truth about pretty much everything. Mostly peaceful protests when there's half the American big cities were burning down. These people habitually and by their very nature lie to us constantly. It doesn't matter which political left lie. It doesn't matter. They're all connected to the same. Some lefties occasionally said do the right thing. Some righties occasionally do the right thing, and I try my best to acknowledge it. But anyways, well, I think I'm probably going to get off here soon. I say that all the time. I've gone back and watched some of my own videos, and I say, oh, I'm going to get off. 30 minutes later, I'm still blabbing, but I think I am going to get off. I'm going to have to get my eyes fixed. That's next on the list. Next paycheck that comes around. That way I can read these if I completely squint. There, it's pretty decent, but just like this, being open-eyed, I can't read them. But anyway, that's my 2 cents on the Will Smith thing. It was embarrassing. It was humiliating. I do see them getting a divorce very soon. It is going to be nasty, and Will is going to be very, very upset, and I feel for him. And even Jaden, I saw a tweet by his own son right after it happens, and it had like 1,000,000 thumbs up or tweet likes or whatever. And that is how we do it. I mean, bless his heart. That poor kid, he's just the mama's boy, and mothers are wonderful and have their role and have their place in the family just like fathers do, but obviously that's not how you do it. You were supporting your father by saying that, and your father apologized and admitted he was wrong. I hope he and Jaden, I think his name's Jaden, I hope they can talk it out and realize, son, I know you're trying to, keep the family name going and keep, the Hollywood thing. And I get it, but I was wrong. And you agreeing with what I did, it was wrong. You're wrong for agreeing with me because even I, Will Smith, your own father, I am your father. I'm wrong about that. I hope Jaden realizes that, his dad, he just messed up and it's okay. Dads mess up all the time. Hello, I'm 19 months sober. I screwed up for 7 years and stayed a professional drunk. Well, if you ever see this, I screwed up too. I married my kid's mother twice. I shouldn't have done that. That was wrong. Because I was like really heartbroken. Thought I had to keep my nuclear family together. Thought I had to fulfill my will or my vow to the gods. Or back then I was Christian. That my vow to God, I had to make sure everything was I kept it together because God hates divorce, and I believed all that crap and wrong. And Will, you've just been wrong. I hate to say it, but cucking yourself out like this all these years, and you can recover. I mean, for Christ's sake, you're Will Smith, Will freaking Smith. You can recover from this. You just need a clean slate, and it's going to be tough and it's going to be hard. Divorce. No one's ever said divorce was fun or easy. To some people, it's easy, but when you are an empath and you feel things like feel it deeper than the average person does, when that complete inside of you is just mashed, turned to mashed potatoes and just ripped out of you, and it's like so it's the most raw feeling, the most raw emotion. And the only reason I know what it feels like is because I've experienced it. When my divorce happened, there's a reason I remarried her. It's because that the pain was so raw and it hurt so bad, and I wanted so badly to fix it and make it right and do the honorable thing, but I screwed up. I shouldn't have ever remarried her in the first place. Shouldn't have married in the first place. I sure as hell shouldn't have done it twice. And it hurt like hell getting the divorce. My whole channel is based on that. My oldest video for viral video is almost 9 years old. And it's just now finally starting to come to an end. And for Will and Jada, it's going to hurt like hell, but you just got to man up and just take it. It sucks. Um, I really wished I could see the comments here, but I just can't. And I'm starting to sweat a little bit. I've, our our little, y'all notice we got these little foam pads here. We got these stuck up, and the little soundproof blankets, and we got another one over here. We got some more to do. I've got 2 lights up now. I've got a third one. I don't even need it just yet. But again, if you're just joining, and no, Hayden's going to be on helping and doing like kind of a co-host type thing, and we are going to be moving over to, or moving some people, an audience, over to his channel. He's a gamer. We've got this little thing here, this Stream Deck, where he is a professional PS whatever the fuck player. Uh, these top control thingies, I don't even know what any of this stuff is, but all I do know is he's like really, 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 really good at it. And apparently, streaming video games, again, it's not my thing, but big shocker. My kids have different interests than me. Big shocker. I know that's just, that blows some people's minds, but my kids are different than me. They have different interests, and whatever their interest may be, he got his welding certificate. He went to technical college and graduated. He's out. He's a welder now, and this is what he does for a hobby. If this turns into something that he's really good at, starts making a living at it, great. We're going to monetize it, and I wish him the best of luck. I just told him, I said, half the people I see, the names on here, that's got the word gaming in there, and I can only assume there's a bunch of 14-year-olds, since my whole channel revolves around what happened to my family when they were adult kids turned 14. I've got a bunch of 14-year-olds. They're probably gamers, and if you are a gamer and you would like to transition over to the next generation and find out how are the kids, well, one of them's about to start his own gaming channel, and if you'd like to support it and watch it, and you happen to be a Call of Duty person, he plays a bunch of games, but Call of Duty is the one he's like really, really good at. He's going to be live streaming and doing highlights, and he likes the shout out thing. He understands how all that works, and he can do it better than me. But uh, as soon as I get off here, there will be a description for Hayden's new channel in the description. Um, One thing I've noticed, we're pushing 500,000 subscribers. If you were watching this and you're subscribed to my channel, do me a favor. Like, something's up with the algorithms. I don't understand why sometimes it goes up and sometimes it doesn't just go down. It goes like way down. Maybe like click the bell off and then click the subscribe again. I've seen other YouTubers talk about that. Maybe that helps, because I've noticed I've had to go look up things and I've come to find out other channels, like, what the hell, I've subscribed to him or her, and I haven't gotten any notifications whatsoever. So I don't know why. Oh, did y'all hear that? That hurt. Maybe do me a favor, unsubscribe and then subscribe back. And I don't know, maybe it'll help out my channel as well. So anyways, I'm out of here. Y'all take care. And oh, there's Wicca Rose. Thank you so much for being one of my wonderful Whomping Willows, along with Miss Mary. Wicca Rose, thank you very much. Hopefully, I was really hoping to be today, but hopefully the end of this week will for real have this worked out with the cameras and I am going to do, or Hayden is going to do a live stream on my channel where maybe it'll be an hour, maybe it'll be several hours, where all he's doing is playing Call of Duty. So if you're like my age and you're not into Call of Duty, just you don't have to watch. But if your kids watch it or like that sort of thing, maybe let them try it out. Just giving everybody a heads up. It's not going to be my normal thing, what I normally do and talk about. It is going to be one of my own kids doing this Call of Duty. And so my own personal Call of Duty is to help out my cheering. So I'm going to hopefully help Hayden out and grow his channel as well. So I will see y'all on the flip side. Best of luck to you, Will Smith.